Hey, how's it going, guys? Ancient Green here, back with another Wonderland build video, and today we are going over Stormbringer. This is a Clawstalker melee build. This is like hammers on hammers on hammers, using Storm Dragon's Judgment, Smithy's Ire, and Hammered Anvil. Bunch of fun thematic stuff, but also really strong to get your hammer bossing for like everything, and it's just so much fun. There's different stuff you can do, different weapons. I guess not really different melee weapons though. But yeah, it's a bunch of fun. Shout out to Queg who inspired me to doing this. This is based off of my Executioner Hammermatic build. Kind of moved over to Clawstalker so I can get stronger hammer throws with alchemical agent. Hammermatic still works fun. That other build works great, but this one I think I find more fun, and just using the Stabbomancer on here is a lot more fun. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, and for the gear here, we have a scalawag. Now this will boost our melee damage that we deal with the melee crossbolts. This is a paramolt for melee damage. And then we have the melee blade, which is really good. And then we have it as ×2 to get more bolts in, as the damage doesn't really matter. I have it as cryo to try and get some enemies frozen if we're able to. Not always happens, but you know, it helps. There's not really many different elements you could use. You could try using like a dark magic one to try and get some healing out of it. That would be pretty nice, but element doesn't really matter that much here. We go action skill, start spell damage to go into our spellblade, because our spellblade will help boost all of our melee damage dealing. Here we have a live wire. Everyone knows what the live wire does. Melee damage. This is nice to switch to sometimes if you want to melee more. Here we have a Stabbomancer for shooting. Just really good. You will want to switch to a universal soldier if you're going to use a Stabbomancer, and it's just a really strong gun. Then we have a Fear Not. This is just something fun you can use to throw. You want to get as much mag size as possible on these with the melee crossbolts. I don't know if this can come time to. This is just one I found. But yeah, this is really nice to have. You could like throw some of these and then switch to your live wire and whack some enemies, and it'd be really nice. And then of course the spellblade. Spellblade turns spell damage into conditional damage type. This is a somewhat common, not so common damage type, which you don't get much of. But here we get a lot of conditional damage. So we get as much spell damage as possible. Now, because we're not using spell shot, we have to get it from pretty much passives and then a skilled Stabbomancer. Now, I like to use Vampire on here because when you melee, it'll help survivability some. Since there's not many survivability options we have here, now I use the Consecutive Hits enchant because this will be a pure bolt to our damage. You do have to swing your weapon, so you'll have to fix some swings in there, but it's really worth it with it being a pure molt. You'll see here I have different versions of here. Then we have a Hammered Anvil. This is just fun and thematic and does some alright damage. While taking damage while ward is full, summons a hammer. Hammers seek out nearby enemies, dealing melee damage. Now this is really nice because with the spellblade, this will go into it. I'm not exactly sure what the damage is based off of, if it's based off of your melee damage, but it does good damage, and that's what I care about. If you want more survivability, you could use a body rune. You'd want to go action skill start, but since I've been using hammer and anvil, I don't have the right enchant. I haven't messed with Mace Wardu. It's something you could do, but nothing I mess with. And then I mainly use a Barbalode, so with the Scalawag to apply the crossbow. So just kind of spreading out that damage. So when you hit that enemy, it'll has a chance to get a crossbow to another enemy, double dipping your damage into there, doing big damage. Now, if you want better survivability, you can go Sacrificial Skeep, and then again with the Universal Soldier for Stabbomancer. Now we go lightning damage for our hammer mainly. That's kind of why I do lightning damage. Clawbringer power for hammer. And then we go status effect damage for alchemical agent that have those really strong dots. Here we have the Smithy's Ire. You'll want to look for either spell charge or extra projectile or both. I have both and it does pretty well. It does get a pretty long cooldown, which is unfortunate, but it's still really nice having. Of course, you'd also probably want like spell damage. Now, Smithy's Ire does not get boosted by spell damage bonuses that we're getting here and only melee damage bonuses, but the spell damage we boost goes into spellblade, which then applies to Smithy's Ire, since spellblade applies to everything melee, which is something really nice, which makes Smithy's Ire really, really good to have. Without it, it feels kind of alright, not the best, not the worst, so that's why I like using it on this build. And then we have a selective amnesia for getting all damage. It's really nice. Now you'll definitely want to put melee swings in here with this. Something I haven't tried is the new Brutal Stampede armor, which has a little bit of bonus with companions. I think Gun with Wings may stack it. I'm not sure. It's being tested with all this stuff. So that could be something fun, but I haven't really messed with. But yeah, not much survivability, so keeping up selective amnesia can be tough. So you'll want to swing your weapon some for vampire, but you'll want to go the Clawbringer Stabbomancer so you can get awe and nimble fingers. Nimble finger gives spell damage, which is really nice, and awe gives multiplicative crit damage, which is pretty multiplicative except for the crit shrine. The where is it? This crit damage right here, this is the only one that's additive with it, so it's really nice having awe in this. And then we have spell damage, area damage, and move speed. Move speed boosts selective amnesia. Area damage will boost your hammer and Smithy's Ire. Not sure about hammer and anvil. And then spell damage to go into spellblade. Now it's more important to get the spell damage in spellblade than the melee damage, because we got a good amount of melee damage elsewhere, and we want as much conditional damage as possible. Now here we have Shark's Veins. Probably not the best things to use, because this bonus towards land sharks is conditional damage, which will be additive with the spellblade bonus, but still good to have. You probably want like a different ring so you can get more bonuses for melee crit damage or crit chance, all that stuff. So not the best to have, but it's still nice. You will want spell damage probably. Melee damage will be good as well. Again, spell damage to go into the spellblade, where I go those here, and then melee crit damage. Yeah, and then I still have the shark lessons here. And then for the skill tree, of course, we go Storm Dragon's Judgment, because this was a hammer build, and Cleansing Flames is pretty bad. So pretty much with hammer, if you don't know, you want to throw it and then instantly call it back to get the shortest cooldown, which can be around 5 seconds, which is really nice. Now, a recent change to all made it so Oath of Thunder and Oath of Fire will proc awe, which is really, really nice. Means to say you have to focus on some less stuff. So we have Oath of Thunder, of course, for melee bonus element. Oath of Fire to get down the tree because there's nothing really better. And then also it'll proc awe now. Rebuke, just because. Dragon Aura for elemental boost. Blasphemous Favor for helping proc awe. Firebolt, Storm Breath, mainly for procking awe and just kind of like doing different damage stuff, but there's nowhere else you'd really put these points. Awe, of course, because it's good, really good damage, and then Indomitable for survivability, which is really, really nice. Then here we go, Haste for the move speed and attack speed, potent poisons for status effect damage and duration, which is really, really useful. Exploit their weakness for this will be a pure multi-tier damage. I have this point in follow-up. It'd probably be better in Arsenal, but any of these 3 points won't really matter. Now, why follow-up isn't that good is because it is conditional damage. It only applies to your melee swing, and we're not stacking too often when you swing if you do swing a lot, so it's not that useful. Then we have Nimble Fingers, which will give us 40% spell damage and 30% fire rate whenever we melee, which we do a lot. I don't remember if this is melee swing only. It might be, I'm not sure. And then we go Shadow Step for a crit hit whenever we melee. I'm pretty sure this is only melee swing that this will activate. Elusive for survivability. And then just shooting his sprint is nice. Contagion to spread our strong dots we're going to have. And alchemical agent, because this is how we get our strong dots. And this is why I go Claw Stabbomancer instead of Claw Spell. Alchemical agent is really strong. This is a double dipping status effect. So our status effect will be kind of multiplied twice. There's a damage formula doc out there in like the official Wonderland server that all explains all of this. And it's just really, really strong, crazy dot damage, which I love. And this is what can make our hammer boss, what can make our Smithy's ire boss, which isn't really happens too much, but with alchemical agent and happens really well. I haven't messed with Spirit Swarm yet with hammer, which I want to, which will probably be in the upcoming builds. It'll matter if I like it or not. And then here we have the crit damage. We go Village Idiot for more crit, which is something you really want. We go status effect damage, and then we go spell cooldown. You could also grow crit chance to try and get better dot application, because we only have 8% dot crit chance and then 28.9% crit chance, but that is without counting awe here, which will help boost it more. But yeah, that's it for here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is a big favorite build of mine right now. Even though Black Color's out right now, this is still a bunch of fun. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't and you like this video. The save file will be found in the Discord link below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.